Hey everyone, just actually got back from the Freeborn County Fair. Ted Nugent was there tonight and performing. And I've actually never seen Ted Nugent live before. And I've actually never really listened to his music growing up. I'm sure I heard his music, but I wasn't a listener or a follower of Ted Nugent. I just wasn't. But I love his patriotism. I love how he loves God. He loves our country, and he's not afraid to share that. He is obviously, a lot of you know who Ted Nugent is, and you know what kind of a guy he is. He's a no bones about it, and it was a lot of fun. The concert was a lot of fun. He did keep it PG, because I guess the fair board asked him keep it PG. Anyway, it was really good. Man, is he an amazing guitar player. So we went with a group of us tonight, all donning our Lisa Hanson State Senate shirts. And so that was a lot of fun. We had a good sized group. And just it was great to be able to take an evening and feel a little bit normal and just be able to have some fun and breathe a little bit again too. So as we are continuing to door knock and to get our message out there. And so I wanted to talk to you. I was actually inspired by Ted tonight because, again, Ted just tells it like it is. And if you don't like it, he doesn't really care. He doesn't care at all. So I love that he stands for our country, stands for freedom, for liberty, for the people. And he just, I think I'm just really impressed, with his stance. So I'll just leave that at that. But I was inspired, and I wanted to share a video tonight. I wanted to come on and do a little video. So it's Lisa Hanson and my opponent. There's two of us running on the Republican ticket for state senator, for District 23 for the state of Minnesota. And wow, has it ever been a great experience and a very interesting experience so far. We're just a few days away from the primary, August 9th. August 9th, it's Tuesday, August 9th. Make sure you get out and vote at your primary. If you've not done your homework or if you've not made up your mind who you're going to be voting for, it's really important to research and make that decision. So I wanted to try to keep this brief tonight, but I wanted to share this. So you've got two the candidates that are running for state senator, myself and my opponent. And honestly, and this is what I tell people when I'm knocking doors and elsewhere, when you compare us on paper side by side, we don't look that different. Actually, we look quite a lot the same, and where we stand and our platform, what we believe, right? But there are some major, major differences. A lot of you know my backstory. I am that lady that opened up her restaurant, my restaurant, the Interchange Wine and Coffee Bistro in downtown Albert Lea, December 2020, in protest of the governor's unconstitutional mandates. Governor had no authority. He had no jurisdiction to do what he did. Yet he did. So the state and the city actually came after me. The city of Albert Lea came after me. The state of Minnesota came after me with a vengeance and used me to make an example. You made an example out of me to teach me a lesson so that no one would ever do what I did again. That's actually paraphrased a little bit, but those are the words of the judge, Judge Butel, that saw over my case, the criminal case against me. So let's get back on track here. There are some major differences between my opponent and myself that you're not going to know about unless you know my story. I stood for your rights, your liberties back in December of 2020, for our children and our grandchildren's liberties. Some of you may or may not understand that. I think a lot of you actually do understand what I did. It was not for me. It would have been a whole lot easier, a whole lot cheaper, a whole lot less pain, and the price that we've had to pay because of what I did, because I stood up, what has been amazing, has been far more than what I realized it would be. Not just for myself, but for my husband and for my family. So I stood up for our liberties, for our freedoms. And I know a lot of you have congratulated me. Thank you. You've said, thank you so much for what you've done, for standing up. And you've said a lot of great positive things. And there's some people out there that are not of the same thinking, same mentality. And you saw what I did as maybe something that you don't agree with, and you're mad at me about, or you just don't like what I did, and you think that I got what I deserved. I have a question for you. What is it that you don't like about your liberties? What is it that you don't like about freedom and America? That's a question I want you to think about, and I want you to answer that for yourself. Because if you truly love your liberties and your freedoms, America, you would understand that I'm a whole different person than my opponent. I've already proven that I will stand for what is right. I have done it, and I have paid their price. And I continue to pay a price. And I will not shrink back. I will continue to stand for liberty, for what is right. I will continue to reveal truth and expose corruption. And I've got a whole lot of exposing to do in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. This is no easy task. Whatever happens at the primary, if I win or my opponent wins, that's not the end of what I'm doing. This will continue on. God has a plan in this for me, and I'm going to do my best to be obedient to that plan. So, some of the differences are, I'm liberty loving, and I am not a go along to get along type of person. I will upset the apple cart if the apple cart needs to be upset. And right now, at our state capitol, we need that apple cart to be upset. And just let me also throw this in there. Currently, we have some issues with the Freeborn County GOP. And I'm going to call you guys out. Some of you are going to listen to this and see this. And I'm going to call you out because that's what I do. I call out the truth. And I expose the corruption and the stupid stuff that's going on. I'm just going to say it like it is. So what has happened is I'm running against the GOP's boy. And they're not happy about it. See, the thing is my friend of over 30 years, I don't know if he's my friend anymore, but I've known Gene Dornick and his family. My husband and I have known them for a lot of years. We actually used to church with them and so forth and so on. I don't want to get into too many details here, but you know, Gene is a nice guy. I think he and his family are very nice people. They're a good family, and Gene's a nice guy. But nice guys don't always do what they are supposed to do or should do. In particular, what I'm referring to is in service to the people of District 23, the former district, partial District 27. Just because he is a nice guy doesn't make him a good senator. And I don't know exactly what all is going on, but I do know this, that there is an immense pressure and indoctrination that happens to a lot of these folks that get elected. They say they're going to do all these things. They're going to stand for the people. They swear an oath to the Constitution to uphold the constitutions of the United States and also of the state of Minnesota and to protect the God-given rights of the people. And then they don't. And that's exactly what has happened with my opponent. He has not been, as a sitting senator, he has not been voting correctly. He's been voting actually really incorrectly. Not that every vote is bad. I'm not saying that. There's some things he votes well on, but there's many things that he votes very incorrect about. I'm going to say it as it is, because that's what I do best, is I tell it like it is. I'm not out to hurt anybody. I am out to spread truth and to name facts. How do I know that he votes badly? I looked at his voting record. You can look at his voting record. There's several scorecard websites that have scorecards for all legislators online, and you can go there too. And you can look to see how your legislator is voting. That's a fact. The voting record is fact. So my opponent is voting very badly, has voted very badly for the last 2 years. Let's talk about a couple of comparisons. constitutionally, omnibus bills are wrong because they are unconstitutional. Our state constitution does not allow for multi-subject laws, right? Our state constitution, I have it here, I'll read it for you. Article 4, Section 17. Laws to embrace only one subject. No law shall embrace more than one subject, which shall be expressed in its title. So what do we have going on? We have omnibus bills have been around for a long time. They're junk bills, they're garbage bills because it's a whole lot of bad with a little bit of good to entice the Republicans to say yes, to vote yes on these. Well, last year alone, my opponent voted for 11 omnibus bills. 11 really, really bad votes. What do these omnibus bills do? They increase government overreach. They increase taxation. They increase the pork, right? They grow government, make bigger government and less. And so what in effect what that does is it takes our rights away as people. They also, these omnibus bills will sometimes also appropriate funds to go to things that we don't agree with, such as abortion. HF 33 is one I want to point out. My opponent did vote yes on HF 33, and which appropriated over $2 million, or roughly estimated 20,000 babies to be killed using our tax dollars for 2022 and 2023. You guys, that is incredible. That is horrible. And I'm going to share something with you. And you don't have to believe me if you don't want to, but this is what happened at the end of one of the conventions. I talked with my opponent and I said, why did you vote yes on that bill? It was an over 500 page omnibus bill. And on page 464, there's appropriations for Planned Parenthood. And I said, why did you vote yes on that bill? How could you do that? And my opponent told me I did not read the bill. And I said, of course you didn't read the bill. Nobody reads those bills. I knew you did not read the bill. So I'm going to take it a step further. You didn't read the bill. Why the heck did you vote yes on something that you didn't read? This is a huge problem. And my opponent's not the only one that does it. Many of our legislators are doing this. They're voting on omnibus bills, garbage bills that take our rights and our freedoms, that are appropriating funds to kill more babies. This is asinine that they are doing this. This is unbelievable that our legislators are voting in this way. And what I want to say is just get out of the way. You're not helping the people. Just stop. Get out of the way. And people that say, you know, well, we have to vote on these omnibus bills. We have to take the bad to get the good. Hogwash. Stop listening to those lies. No, we don't. We can do better, and we need to do better. We need to do better for the people. We need to save the babies. We need to stop the money going to the babies. That was a vote. That was not forced. That was a vote that went to our legislators. There was a choice, and choices were made. The mistake was that my opponent voted yes on something he didn't read, and he should have voted no. If you don't read it, you can't vote yes on it. There could be dangerous stuff in there, and there was, and there is in these omnibus bills. I've had about enough of this. It's time that we started talking about this stuff. Whether I'm elected or not, we need to talk about this stuff. We need to expose this stuff. And you know what? They don't want us to. The swamp doesn't want us to. You think the swamp is only in the Democratic Party? Well, you better think again. At least we know what to expect from the Democratic Party. They put it right out there on their face. We've got some serious issues in the Republican Party. And this is something we need to deal with. So you better think really hard about who you're going to vote for this next Tuesday. Go to the primary. You need to go. This is an important primary. Every primary is important. You need to decide who you're going to vote for. Are you going to vote for the go along, get along guy that's been doing that? Are you going to vote for somebody who voted against returning your tax surplus dollars. I will not do that. What my vote would have been was to return your tax surplus dollars because it belongs to you and you were overtaxed, you were overcharged. And I would also vote to cut taxes. We pay way too much tax in this state. So I stand for freedom. I stand for liberty. If I'm elected, I will take very seriously. I will take my oath to the constitutions very seriously to uphold and protect the God-given rights of the people. I opened my business back in 2020. You can say in defiance, you can say in protest, it's the same thing, of Governor Walz's unconstitutional mandates. A governor cannot make law. A governor is not allowed to make law. I have experienced the corruption from every branch of government firsthand. I have paid the price, and I am still paying the price. And I am still standing. I'll tell you what kind of people we need at the Capitol. We don't need go-along, get-alongs. We don't need people that will mind the status quo. We need people that will stand up. We need people that have a backbone and know how to use it and are willing to use it, like myself. So I don't agree with what my opponent actually does. On paper, we look a lot the same, but we are not the same. Do not make that mistake. I am not what my opponent is. As a senator, as your next senator, I will continue to fight for you, for your kids, for your grandkids, for our constitutional republic. And yes, I have a lot to learn. I've been learning a lot, and yes, I have a lot to learn, and I am willing to do it. I've already proven that I am willing to learn. I will serve the people. I will never be a politician. I will commit as your next senator to being an elected public servant. This has been a little bit longer than what I had planned it to be. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. This is an important vote. Get out and vote at the primary Tuesday, August 9th. You're going to vote for the state Senate. You're going to vote for liberty and freedom, or you're going to vote for the same old as it's been for the last 2 years with this opponent and for the last many decades with many of our legislators. It's time for some change, real people that are not afraid to stand up and say no more. We're not going along with you. It's time. Thanks so much.